Deportation. Now, this is a thing in question, in discussion, and many people are talking about it. A few have asked for me. There are conflicting views on this to every mind. While every person acknowledges that anybody who has gone to any place in an illegal manner is definitely wrong and it is a crime. He needs to be sent back. That is the least that can be done. The manner in which it is done, is it correct or incorrect? Looking at these people as criminals, perhaps the manners are correct. Looking at them as humans, perhaps the manner is incorrect. But more significantly, it is important that we figure out that we boast of India being one of the most uh, productive countries in a way. We boast of invaluable resources. We have one of the world's largest, youngest capital working. We have the sense for intellect and technology to a large extent. But what is it that keeps us from not being able to absorb our own people in one of the world's largest markets? That our people adopt such means that they be labeled as illegal citizens in a country, intruders, aliens, even terrorists, just because they landed somewhere to earn a living. What is it that prevents us from being able to give these people, or even the people living in this country, a respectable life? There is economics to it, there is social aspects to it, there is also maybe a political side to it, but more than that, it is an attraction driven by the idea, one, that when we go out of this country, most of these countries, their currencies are more powerful than ours. So the person is supposedly living a dream where he is earning in multiples, and majority fail to acknowledge that the cost of living and the lifestyle in those countries is equally in multiples. It is as difficult living there and earning the livelihood as it is in own country. But to achieve this, people sell their holdings, enter into huge debts, and they are continuously living in the myth that across the shore life will be better. Many find it so difficult and shameful that they hardly acknowledge what it is. The other thing is, second that people feel that even if they are doing something menial there, who is watching them? And this provides a curtain for their survival, behind which they hide whatever they do, and they just boast of the fact that they are living in a country where they're earning in multiples. But all that at the cost of human respect is perhaps not the right thing that somebody would want to live. Uh, the thing is, one has to understand that if at home you have such a large market, you have such a high human capital working, why has that been reduced to being a labor market? The way outsourcing grew, it only had the function to absorb large amounts of work from foreign countries, which was coming at the cost of the idea that the companies, the MNCs, were saving large amounts of money by just transferring the work to India. The way a lot of other things have grown, that also was plain exploitation of the Indian labor force. And even the Indians that went outside have tend to look at fellow Indians back in a way as if the people living here are any lesser than them, notwithstanding the fact that many of these people who have gone out perhaps lack the human courtesy to accept that they were born, they were brought up, and somewhere it is learning from this very place that they have carried outside. But the environment there allows them to hone their skills, allows them to multiply their skills, get value for their intellect, for freedom of expression, for liberty of effort. The congeniality perhaps will be that we are more receptive to the fact that people will not be copybook. People will not be bound by a certain curricular or certain documentary privileges which will enable them to pursue certain things in life. Say, for example, there is an engineer who is only a bachelor's but wants to pursue something wherein his thought may generate something new in terms of technology. The multiplier of that technology can be maybe 10,000 times or more, a million times maybe. But he is not able to pursue it because of certain documentary requirements, that he may not be a master's or he may not have an institutional support. This is where things like Startup India should have focused. Things like Skill India should have focused. On paper, they have, but in the real terms, lot of it just has fizzled out. Even businesses that grow or are set up in India largely look at the point that they are borrowing money through investors, raising it to a point, and then selling it off. So ultimately, you are trading off your idea, your labor for cash, and then trying to set out to do something new, instead of nurturing that idea further and building it up into a corporation. India still lacks, in real terms, the idea of building a corporation. We are happy to sell it off to corporations and let those corporations dictate terms on our own developments. This is, in my view, in a way, erosion of intellectual values, intellectual property. But since the owner itself is selling it off or trading it off, nobody else can prevent it. No law prevents something like this from happening. It requires a policy where you do not restrict people like you restrict doctors, that they have to essentially work in a rural setup or something like that. You rather need freedom and respect for each and every profession, proportionate production of talent. Unlike like in medicine, we have the number of paramedics that are produced is far many than the number of doctors, and we have gone on to enable paramedics to perform functions that are way beyond their capabilities, undermining doctors. So systemically there are many flaws, but the basic flaw within the system is to be able to give respect to the human. And until we are able to give respect to our own people, we will not be able to save ourselves from such disgraceful situations as deportations. We need policies where we can retain our people, and instead, like those countries which give opportunities for us to come work there and enrich them, we need policies where people from other countries come here, work, and enrich us. The focus actually needs to shift to bring in India, bring to India, not start up India. India already started years ago. There's nothing that India has to start with. It has to hone, it has to develop, and that will only happen when we can say that bring to India, bring in India. Liberalization has to invite international human capital to India now, there has been enough liberalization of economy. We now need liberalization of education and not inviting foreign universities to set up campuses or things, but inviting foreign students to come to our places and study, which means curriculum, objectives of the curriculum have to change. Let's just think, are we on the right track? Thank you.